Is this a video about EVs and IVs? No. This is...
Gay!
Hey guys, it's Bidoof, and today we're going to be talking about something a lot of people get confused over. Pokemon EVs and IVs. Now, I was a little bit confused of these at first, but I did some research and I thought I could make a video of it, and I'm going to try and explain it to you to the best of my ability. So, let's get started. So, first of all, let's start with EVs. So, what are EVs? They're effort values. Every Pokemon has a maximum of 510 EV points in your life with a maximum of 255 in each individual stat. EVs are player input and will not rise by themselves. In similar matter, they won't disappear by themselves. In short, for every 4 EV in one stat, the Pokemon will get a +1 boost in their particular stat at level 100 on a neutral nature. This is slightly more if the nature is beneficial, and lower if the nature is hindering. Examples are, if a Pokemon with 160 EVs in Special Attack will get a +40 boost in Special Attack at level 100. Or a Pokemon with 163 EVs in Special Attack will also get a 140 boost in Special Attack at level 100 due to the fact that 163 isn't divisible by 4. The extra 3 EV points are wasted. This means that even though there are a maximum of 255 EVs in one stat, you'll get the same effect with 252, meaning an extra 3 EVs can be spent on another stat. Do note that EVs will only be truly visible at level 100 and not rise according to their level. A Pokemon with 252 EVs in one stat at level 10 will only have an average of +6. Normally this is +6.3, but the game rounds everything down. In a stat, an average of +31. +31.5 of course rounds down, and that will be at level 50. Now, after your Pokemon received 510 EVs, he or she can't get any others. So, you can kill him after this. So, now you might ask, how do I train EVs? Well, EVs are gained whether a Pokemon is beat. There's no way to stop this from occurring. You can only remedy this. EVs are given to all Pokemon who participate in a battle. Each Pokemon gives out a certain amount of EVs. There's no way this will vary. A level 5 Starly will give the same amount of EVs as a Starly that's level 100. Now, if you beat 41 Starly, your Pokemon will give 41 EVs in speed. Seeing the amount of EVs Starly gives is 1, and they're all spent on speed. Also, for being 41 Pidgeot, your Pokemon will gain 123 EVs in speed. Seeing the amount of EVs Pidgeot gives are 3, and they're all spent in speed. Now, there are some Pokemon, like Unknown. If you beat 41 Unknown, your Pokemon will gain 41 EVs in attack and 41 EVs in special attack. Seeing the amount of EVs Unknown gives are split. 1 for attack, and at the same time, 1 for special attack. Now, generally, you'd want to avoid the Pokemon like Unknown that gives split EVs, knowing that you have a maximum amount and you're on a limit with EVs. That might not be a certain aspect of your Pokemon you would like to train. Now, if you want to see what Pokemon gives what EV and how much it gives, click on the link I put in the description below. Let's talk about some of the items involved with EV's training. Of course, the experience share. Not only does it share experience, but it gives the Pokemon that holds it the same amount of EVs for the Pokemon that's beating the other Pokemon. Example, you're fully EV trained Infernape with the Starly. While the Infernape gets 1 speed EV, your level 1 Pichu that's holding the experience share also gets 1 speed EV. This is the best way to raise newly hatched Pokemon. Some other items. These 6 items grant an extra 4 EVs in 1 stat after a battle. Even if the Pokemon that was beat gives out other EVs, they'll still receive EVs in correspondence to the held items. They also lower the holder's speed by half, like the Moltres Burst does. Now the power weight, an extra 4 health points EVs after a battle. The Power Bracer, an extra 4 attack EVs after the battle. The Power Belt, an extra 4 defense EVs after the battle. A Power Lens, an extra 4 special attack EVs after the battle. a power band, an extra 4 special defense EVs after the battle, and the power anklet, an extra 4 speed EVs after the battle. An example is, if the holder defeats a Starly while holding the power anklet, it receives 5 speed EVs, 1 speed EV from the Starly, plus 4 speed EVs from the power anklet. If the holder defeats a Ghastly while holding the power anklet, though, it will receive 1 special attack EV and 4 speed EVs. The special attack comes from the Ghastly plus the 4 speed EVs from the power anklet. The power items can be used in conjunction with Pokerus, but I don't want to get into all that. You know those very expensive items, such as protein, that cost 9,800 Pokédollars? Ever wonder what they did? Well, these vitamins not only raise your Pokemon's happiness, but also a certain stat by 10 EVs. This is it. The HP up gives your Pokemon 10 HP EVs. The protein gives your Pokemon 10 attack EVs. And iron gives your Pokemon 10 defense EVs. A calcium gives your Pokemon 10 special attack EVs. A zinc gives your Pokemon 10 special defense EVs. And a Carbos gives your Pokemon 10 speed EVs. Do note that these no longer work if a particular stat is already maxed 255, or if all your EVs are already spent. They also no longer work if your Pokemon 10 of the same item already. So you can't use 10 Zinc on one Pokemon to just completely boost its special defense EVs. Also, there are EV lowering berries, a fairly recent addition. Now it goes like this. The Palmic Berry lowers a Pokemon's HP EVs by 10. A Kelpsy Berry lowers a Pokemon's attack by 10. A Qualop Berry lowers a Pokemon's defense by 10. A Hondu Berry lowers a Pokemon's special attack by 10. And a Greppa Berry lowers a Pokemon's special defense by 10, with a Tomato Berry lowering the Pokemon's speed by 10 EVs. Something useful if you might have made a mistake or accidentally killed the wrong Pokemon. Rare candies, the bane of every trainer. For rare candies, it is said to raise to level 100 by eating these are not as strong as the normally trained ones. I'll explain why. Rare candies don't influence EVs. Your Pokemon will not gain or lose EVs by leveling up with rare candies. That's why, who have not EV trained with rare candies will be less powerful. It's okay to use them after you've EV trained, though. EV training at level 100. If your Pokemon is already at level 100, and therefore can no longer level up, you can box it and withdraw it. This is because after you've boxed Pokemon, the EVs will be calculated and your Pokemon will have the stats it should normally have after EV training. And finally, checking for EVs. After you've spent all 510 EVs, you can go down to the Sunny Shore Market. The lady on the left will give your Pokemon a ribbon after all 510 EVs will have been distributed. You can check the individual EVs though. I'm sorry, you can't check the individual EVs though. Nor can you see how many you've already spent. So keep that paper ready. Or, if you have a really good memory, remember it. And that's about all I have to say for EVs. They're very interesting and can be used to really advance your Pokemon in battle. And finally, we have IVs. So, what are IVs? IVs, or individual values, are dedicated upon capture, when you receive an egg and it can't be trained. They range from 0 to 31 and are applied to every stat, meaning every stat has a value between 0 to 31. The higher the IV, the higher the stat. Every IV counts for 1 stat point on a level 100. When the nature of a Pokemon is neutral, this varies with the nature is beneficial or hindering. Examples. Seemingly the same Tyranitar at level 100. They both have adamant nature and 252 EVs in attack. This is how they look. Tyranitar 1 with 0 attack IVs, 369 stat. Tyranitar 2 with 31 attack IVs, 403 attack. You can see now that's quite the difference. In terms of training, IVs are the hardest to control. Barely any, if no, trainer influence. This means that even if you have the right nature and EVs, you won't have the desired Pokemon. Thank IVs for that. You can calculate the IVs in the link below in the description. If you want more accurate calculations to decide your newly hatched Pokemon's IVs, there are two things you can do. 1. Fight with it on an online match at level 100. This way the Pokemon will be temporarily elevated to level 100, where you can accurately read his or her stats and decide the IVs. Level it up with rare candies. Save, level up, read the stats, and reset. This way, you won't lose any of your rare candies, while you can still decide your Pokemon's states and IVs. An easy way of obtaining rare candies. Pick up ability at high levels, Emerald cloning or DP cloning, but watch out, it is potentially dangerous, hacking, or trading them over Wi-Fi. And that's about all I have for IVs. I hope this helped you understand more about EVs and IVs. I had fun making this video, and I don't know, it was kind of cool to make a fact video. Well, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see ya!